Honestly, this took me so long to do. Much longer than it really should have, but again, I'm a mother. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Mother Berry, aka Jenna, aka your favorite working mom. I am here with my what are my goals. I've been talking about my vision board. This is sort of a vision board part 2, if you will, because I mean, let's just look at that finished product. It is so good. Love to share how I'm going about them, how I think about my goals, and how I set them when I do all of that good stuff. So let's get straight into it. Obviously, I'm not going to share every single one because I just think keeping certain things private kind of helps you achieve them. I think you can get a lot of people's opinions in your ear. Share some of your visions and your goals, but don't share all of them. Keep some of that for yourself and work on them, and then let the product speak for itself. You know what I mean? First, I start with a brain dump. I don't have my journal on me right now, but in my journal, I started this last year. I brain dump all the things that I want to do. I make a Pinterest board. And as I've made that Pinterest board, I'm looking at, oh, I like to do this and stuff with movement or stuff with the beach or stuff with creativity. And then as I'm brain dumping in my journal, I'm almost just making really big lists. So I know this looks really overwhelming. Some people like to put really big but select few pictures on their vision board to like go for really big, broader ideas. For me, it helps me too to have tangible goals and be very specific with what I want to do. If I say I want to be healthier, I need very clear-cut instructions and goals and targets that I'm reaching for, so I know where I want to go and like what steps I can take to get there. Like, I don't just say, oh, I want to be healthier. I want to say, like, I need to get my body stronger and improve my lung health. So that's why there's so many pictures. Also, I love to have variety, and I think collages and stuff are so fun. Last year I did a big 2025 in the middle. This year I realized I forgot to have a picture that has the date or the year on it. And this year I just kind of said, screw it. I was going to cut some out of a picture, and I was just like, you know what? It's already not there. I don't want to put it on top of some of those pictures, and I think it looks good without it. Let's go over some of these goals. We have 12 sections. Faith is one of the smaller ones because, like, I'm a very spiritual gal. I am not a very religious gal. I big into like spirituality, not crazy woo-woo, but like a little bit there. So I just have some little things like attend more beach services, attend a certain amount of times, do some more readings, be more intentional with like thoughts, prayers, things like that. Nothing that I personally feel so confident in that I feel like that needs to be like my message to share, but I do know there's other greater creators that out there that like if that's the kind of messaging or tips you're looking for on, go elsewhere. I'm just not someone that's confident enough to talk about my goals with that because I don't know what I'm talking about. Money. I'm not my strongest suit either, but I am really good with my money for my circumstances. Again, not someone to get money tips from, but we'll go into the money tips. So we have a certain amount in our big savings right now, and I would like to maintain it around that number. I know there will be certain times in the year when stuff is going to happen. Like we need a water system for our house because we live in an area with really bad water. And then my car is going to go at some point. The plan is to try to save up for most of it, but if we have to dip into that savings, we know it's there and that's what it's there for. Or should one of us lose our jobs, something like that, like we have that savings. But for the most part of the year, I would like it to mostly be at a certain level. Spending less by making more coffee and matcha at home. We just invested in a really nice coffee maker, and that's already something that we're seeing happen. But I'd really like to make sure I keep that into practice in 2026. Like I don't want to get so used to using our like nice new coffee maker, and then I'm like, well, I just want something fun. I want someone else to make it. Like it's so easy to make good drinks. I really want to push myself that if some coffee shop is making their summer blueberry or blackberry or strawberry matcha, or they're making some kind of fun espresso drink, figure out the recipe, get the ingredients, try to make some at home. You know, I really have to push myself to do that. So it's kind of like a twofold. Like I learn recipes, but also you're saving money by making more at home. I have general things like pay down credit cards, saving up for a new car, because I know my car is honestly probably going to go soon. It's having some really old carb things happen. I don't really want to this year. I'd love for it to make it another year, but we just don't know if that will be realistic. And I'm trying to be realistic with it, although I don't want to be. I'd like to keep ignoring the noise it's making. These next two are smaller ones. So mental health peace and boundaries. Keep prioritizing my peace and boundaries. I have some personal things that I really do that well with, but sometimes I still struggle with. So that's something I'd really like to get more comfortable doing. I'd say this past year I was doing it, but uncomfortable while keeping boundaries and setting them. This year, I'd like to get more comfortable and confident when I'm setting those boundaries. Things like returning to therapy. I think I had decided I was gonna do a whole video on this if you're interested. I think I'm gonna do it regardless if someone is interested anyway, to be honest. But I'm a big ADHD mom. There are some things that I need to meet with a PCP and therapist about, but I have decided, drum roll please, to go back on ADHD medication. There is a whole long laundry list of reasons why, but I have thought about it for a while and I believe it to be something that is really hindering me in a lot of areas of my life. And that's when I know my ADHD is affecting me more in my personal life than I would like it to. It's not been an easy decision to make, but it has been the mature decision to make. It's not something I plan to do forever, to share on the specifics of what I'm trying to do and share my journey on that and how it goes, because I know that's like a very, very common thing for people, but it's also a very polarizing view. I was on medication for a while, came off, went back on, didn't have good experiences with it. I will touch on that in another video. I know some people are like really anti the meds. People are really more for like cognitive behavioral therapy and putting in place things. I know the better decision for me to be a good mom, employee, a wife. It's time to go back on some medication for a little while. In my relationships, love and connection, I am trying to push me and Danny, both of us are kind of in on this, to do more date night. Especially now that we live in an area where there's like a lot of stuff to explore, which is a lot of good places we could do date night, free, cheap, or really nice and fancy if we wanted to. So something we're trying to do more is do more date nights, either in or out. No excuse to not do more date nights in. I would love to just like play around with Uno while we drink some wine or have pizza, board games, do a puzzle together, like just intentionally doing stuff together, like a fun activity, you know, besides sitting together on our couch at the end of the day and doom scrolling and decompressing together. And trips with some friends I have on here. I had this on my vision board last year, and with the move, a lot of things got moved to this year, but I'm determined to make this one work because I think it would be so easy living near the beach. I want to do a pizza, wine, and sunset dinner on the beach date night with Danny. That will happen. We're gonna move into a lot of my bigger ones. A lot of the goals that I put on here, if you think about them and you think about how many days you have in the year and how many moments, like look back at this past year, how many things did you do? Big things, small things, everyday things. You have so much time, and even with kids, there's moments where I'm like, I could spend that time doing so much more, even with my kids present, whether they're not an excuse that I need to keep to not be doing what I want to be doing, right? Keep that in mind as we go over some of these other ones. So fitness, strength, and movement. I'll show you some of the pictures that go with these two. There's things in my relationship that involve physical activity. So like I'd like to try out. If we get into it, great. It's no like high pressure thing, but I'd like to try a couple times. Pickleball and tennis, probably with Danny or with a friend, most likely with Danny. He is also my friend. Big theme in my fitness, strength, movement category, and honestly just health and wellness space, is to gain strength and diversity in my exercise. Last like few months here in Florida, like since we moved, I think honestly the last couple months of 2025, really was mostly just November and December. I think October was fine. I have been dealing with something that's randomly come up with my back in the past. I realized after going to the chiropractor, there could be some injury from childbirth / also maybe an accident that I had like a few years ago, that some issues just that never got dealt with. Like even though they were random and they would come up occasionally, like we're talking like sciatica type pain would gradually get worse the more I didn't deal with it. And it would come up so randomly and then be gone after like a day. I just never really thought much about it. But here recently I had an episode after not even doing much over the weekend where I like couldn't walk. I was in so much pain and I've had to go back to the chiropractor. One of my goals is to return to physical therapy for my back and just really reset and restart and rebuild my foundation of fitness. I have little things like I've always wanted to have more defined biceps, arms / biceps, because I feel like my arms are such a weak point on my body. But if I'm rebuilding my foundation, that's something I want to incorporate into my foundation, is like overall body strength. And because my arms are typically my weaker link, as it is in a lot of women, I would like to really focus on building those, because there's no reason why I should be struggling to like either pick up my kid or haul stuff around. Like I want to be so functional with my strength. That is something I really want to focus on because I know that's a weak point. Over the course of this year, really create some kind of workout routine or schedule where I'm doing a variety of activities. So that's how I am going to be putting in all these different types of like I want to get into swimming. Really good for lung health. I have asthma. Also, it's easy on joints. Really good foundational workout. Go swim some laps in the morning. Swimming is on Tuesdays. I don't know. This is how I'm kind of imagining it. Strength training and weightlifting. I would like to incorporate that maybe once a week or something. And all of these things are kind of once a week, but my goal is to join back at the YMCA, and they offer you, I feel like, for the best bang for your buck, to be able to go do all these different activities. They have classes. They have, a regular gym. They have like water aerobics. They've got like a pool you could swim in. And I really want to utilize going to like a class, going to different types of classes, whether it's yoga and stretching, cycling, a strength training one. The more diversified your skills are, the more you can take skills from other things that you may not have had and apply it to what you're doing. So that's how I'm trying to build, when I say diversity in my strength and exercise routine, is I would like to, instead of just being like, yeah, I like to go work out and lift weight 3 days a week, every day by the end of the year and build all this muscle. And instead of just doing that, like boring in my mind, boringly, because I've done that before and it does get boring. I don't want to just spend 2 hours in the gym with lifting weights just because to be strong. Like I would like to be very functional and be diversified in my strength training. I feel like it would definitely help me functionally being able to lift, working on stuff in our house. We have a lot of house projects that have to get done. And then also just being a parent, running around with your kid. So that's how I like to think about my goals, is like, what is the foundation that I'm trying to build, and where can I go with this foundation? I also have what I was telling Danny earlier today is if applicable or if it makes sense goals. So with getting back into running, especially in the area we're in, run a 5K and then run a 10K. Back into running, my back is feeling good. I've built this good, strong foundation. My body is good. My lungs feel good. Running a 5K feels good. Running a 10K feels good. If possible, would like to run a half marathon. Halfway through the year, however long throughout the year, I'm getting back into running. I've run a 5K and I've run a 10K. I only want to run a half marathon if I've done those already. I know from just my knowledge of running, those can be races that can be done by having like ran a lot and practiced and being in shape, right? When you want to run a half marathon, you really actually have to be very intentional with your training. You have to take time to train and like legit train, not just like I've been running a lot and I know I can run 6 miles, or I know I can run 3 however many miles, whatever. You have to take the time and put the time into it to do it right. If I feel like that's something I want to tackle, my back is in good health, and that's something, considering all my other goals, that I have time to incorporate into my exercise routine or rhythm or whatever, then I want to push myself to do that, if that makes sense. But if I get to a certain point and I'm like, you know what, running the 5K and 10K has been feeling good. I feel like I've done well at like building back this great strong foundation, but I'm getting through part of the way of the year and I'm like, my back just doesn't feel like it can handle that many miles. I'm not going to look at it and say, well, I didn't run a half marathon this year, failed at that goal, didn't complete it. I'm going to say, well, that is kind of just like null and void type of deal. Hope that makes sense. We're going to move on from fitness and strength. I have like little things I write down here and there. I'm just going to kind of give you the big gist of each section though. Home, lifestyle, and environment. Something that I'm working on, especially having a new house, is we have a closet we've been working on to kind of make nicer. Danny's working on putting drawers in. So something in there is like home updates and keeping certain things organized. Build a breakfast nook, finish the yard, the fountain, and landscaping, start the herb and vegetable garden. That's stuff that we already have plans to do. Like we want to work on the landscaping because the previous owners put in a good bit of work into the landscaping, but a lot of the plants obviously now are like dead. Like we haven't kept up with them. There was some stuff that was kind of already dying, so we just let it like die off. But they've like, they've made the beds, they put the little borders for them. It would be a matter of putting in plants and doing the seeds and like taking care of them. And my son likes to help with that as well. So some of that stuff is like, I just want to make sure I have it on my board that like this is something I want to complete. It's not like I've never been into gardening and our yard has no landscaping whatsoever, and I'd like to just make this miraculous garden and landscaping. I'm gonna repeat this throughout the video, but like, do you see where I'm going with this? Like, this is something that already has a bit of a foundation or somewhere to start, and that's where I'm going with it. Something that kind of goes along with like the home, but like lifestyle-y, advancing my capsule wardrobe. I'm not like on the extreme side of a capsule wardrobe, but I'm definitely been getting into the phase of investing in more quality clothing than any kind of fast fashion, and also trying to get rid of stuff. I'm someone that keeps a lot of clothing for a long time. Like, I have stuff probably still from high school that I wear. Some of it's fine, and some things I have that I either got in college or just like my early 20s, and maybe I wore it a few times, maybe I wore it a lot. We're gonna have a brief intermission because Bubs is in here, and I think he needs a little hugs and attention, but we'll keep going with this later. To finish up about the capsule wardrobe, especially living in a different climate now. It's cold, we don't have as harsh winters here. I would like to just make sure my closet is as functional and comfortable as possible. I'm not in the mindset, and haven't been for a while now, to be honest, in my life, where I don't like to wear stuff that's uncomfortable. I don't like to wear stuff that I don't feel good in for the sake of, oh, it looks cute or it's trendy or whatever. Sometimes I do like trendy pieces and they do feel good. Certain things just aren't me, and I don't really like them or care for them, and they don't feel good. So why keep them? Send them on to another home to have a second chance. Hey Bubs, are you okay if I record my video while you hang out with me? Okay, brief intermission over, but Bubs is with me now, so we may cut out and try this later, but we're gonna try it for as long as we can. We don't have too much more we're gonna go over, because like I said, I'm not gonna say every single goal that I'm setting, because there's a lot of big areas, but I do want to touch on each section and kind of give you the main foundation of what I'm going for. Okay, he's slowly pushing me out of the way, so we're gonna come over here. This is a really, really big one for me, and excuse the background noise, it's just gonna have to be what it is. Cozy life, creativity, and joy. I am really trying to go more this year for the nostalgic, creative, cozy, hobby life vibes, and really have moments of slowing down, but also being off of technology when I can. I'm all for, like, I love digital creation. I love editing videos, recording stuff, making content. That's all fun. But I really want to be doing more like reading. I've been trying to get back into reading. This year with moving, I haven't really had the brain capacity for reading. So I'm going to retry for my goal of reading 15 books for the year. I'm already almost done with 2. I finished one. I'm almost like a quarter of the way through of my second one. 15 books for the year is very reasonable for me. And I know it sounds crazy, but some of the type of books I read are very like Hallmarky style books that you can finish. Like the one book I finished in a couple of days because they're very easy reads. But at this point in my life, in this season of life, I really like to have something that's more of like an escape, that's so simple I don't have to think super hard about. I really wanted to read the Akotara series for a while. And if later on in the year I get into heavier series like that take a lot longer to read, I will adjust my goal. I also try to keep my goals flexible, where like, okay, I'm reading, what's the whole point of my read 15 books for the year? What is the whole point? To read more. Hey baby, make sure you're not coloring on the carpet. If you want, I can give you paper to color on. Would you like to do that? Yeah. Okay. Thinking about this in big picture. What is my big picture? To read more. But tangibly, I cannot put that on a poster. Personally, I can't do that and actually expect myself to read more. So I'm going to say read 15 books, knowing that these are probably going to be easy reads, small little rom-com, romance, Hallmark style books that are easy to read. I can read them in a few days. It would really be not that hard of a goal, because that's setting aside a few minutes a day. And that's how I think about a lot of my goals too. Besides maybe exercise, which might take around 30 minutes to an hour and a half, depending on what you want to invest. As I describe all these, hopefully that helps you with not only setting your own goals, but kind of like how to think about what goals to set. Because I do know I hear some people be like, I don't even know what goals I should be setting. If I'm sitting there and I'm reading all the time, and it took me 3 months to read 1 book, I'm okay with adjusting my goal and not hitting 15. Again, what was the point? To read more, to spend less time in the evening when I just doom scrolled or got on Instagram. Not the editing portions and posting portions, which I don't mind to spend time doing, but just purely doom scrolling or telling myself I'm saving ideas when really I'm just like on a social media platform, like not doing anything useful. Instead of doing that, I'm putting that time or even a small, tiny 10-minute portion of that time into reading or something else. The other things I have on there is journaling. I've seen a lot of people talk about their journals. I don't want this whole video to be about journaling. Seeing people talk about getting back into journaling and like the physical writing of it all is super motivating, because especially with moving, there's some stuff that I went through, some old things like keepsake type stuff, and one of them was my old journal. Even just seeing that old journal is a huge trigger for me. There's a lot of things that I recounted in there that at the time I just wrote about. Some of the stuff I knew it was bad stuff, but there's a lot of my abuse that I recounted in there. I really want to take back journaling for myself, because this is not something I've talked on any social media about, or honestly to many people about, I don't think, not very much in depth. But when I was younger, I loved writing, and I was really good at writing, and I wrote all the time, and I loved journaling. And I feel like my abuse kind of stole the light of journaling and the fun in journaling for me, because I feel like every time I would go to write or just journal, even something simple, I just felt like I just honestly am flooded with memories of the things I would journal about. And anytime I've tried to open my old journal, and any page that I flip to is just a constant reminder of some really stuff that I kind of forgot about. I'd like to be able to have a journal and look at it and be like, that old journal maybe recounts a lot of abuse, but like look at all these other journals full of these joyous, some happy, some sad, but nothing like abusive and heavy like the previous one. Like I'd like to just fill up journals and journals of like times with Bubs. Like I did it today, just talking about going to the thrift store with my family and the toy that Bubs found, and just joyous little moments for a lot of reasons, down to memory keeping, down to doing something physical, down to just joy. So there's a lot of things with that. So I have a lot of other things like spending time doing cozy hobbies, reading, coloring, baking, cozy games on the Switch or iPad, puzzles or puzzle books. Something else I've kind of rediscovered that I forgot that I loved is puzzle books, specifically like Sudoku, crowns, word searches, code word, a lot of those things. And then I have a lot of crafts stuff on Pinterest. I have a few specifically put on here, but I put time to spend more time doing cozy hobbies, even if it's while we're watching a movie in the evening, or instead of doom scrolling for 2 hours. Even just set aside, if you want to still doom scroll to decompress, why don't you set aside 30 minutes of that doom scrolling that you really don't need, and do a cozy hobby. Do a fun craft that you found on Pinterest. Like actually follow through and do that craft, you know? We are almost done, so have no fear, this won't be too long. Okay, we're gonna finish this real quick because I know Bubs needs someone to hang out with and play with. Small little travel and adventure section of some places I'd like to plan trips to. I don't care if it's for 5 years in the future. I would just like to make the point to plan them. Definitely want to take a trip back to the Smokies, Knoxville, visit some people. For anyone that may have seen it, I have a piano on my vision board. We have an area in my home where my husband really wants to learn piano. He's big into music. We want to get like a little wall piano. And this is again one of those if applicable goals, or if it makes sense goals, where we want to get a piano for the house. We have no timeline for this. We just want to try to find one at some point this year. It's hard to get a piano because you can get them for free, but it's like people will just beg you to come figure out how to get it out of their house and into yours because they're very heavy. Depending on when or how we get a piano, I would like to push myself to learn a new skill and learn the basics of piano. Again, setting aside 5 to 10 minutes a day, not much at all. That's like a little piece of a lunch break, or 5 to 10 minutes after Bubs goes to sleep, or after I do a chore for the night. Like it's very simple stuff. I don't need to master the classics. I just want to learn like a simple skill and play a couple of simple things. If we don't get a piano until this coming December, and I don't have a lot of time to learn the basics, I'm not going to be like, well, failed that one. I'm just going to be like, well, that doesn't really apply anymore because that doesn't really fit into my timeline and goals, whatever. I really want to take a hot second on this wellness, health, and self-care. A lot of stuff that I already kind of talked about with the fitness and strength of like improving my back pain. Something I'm really pushing myself to do is improving my personal care and like hygiene. If that's gonna make me sound like I'm really gross, but I have really dry skin. I've had some skin dermatology issues that have come up with really like dry skin, hives, hair health with my scalp, hydration. I really want to make a focus on my skin and body care. I do have to go to dinner, but we're gonna wrap this up real quick. I'm just very tired of my home and my body as a home not feeling good and not feeling comfortable from different issues. Like I'm really determined to get to the bottom of it. I have some fun one-off ones in there. Like I'd like to get a facial one time this year. I've never gotten one before in my life. I'd like to get a massage. I've had one massage in my life. It was postpartum, and I'd like to get one again. At least one time this year, I would like to get a mani and pedi. Have a day for myself. This could be all in one day. This could be a whole spa day for me. This could be 3 different times throughout the year. One time I do a facial, one time I do a massage, and one time I do a mani pedi. Maybe I do it with a friend. I'm not really sure what it's going to look like, but one time this year I would like to do each of those things. The last thing on here is Mother Berry. And this is the one I'm going to be the most cryptic with. I'm not going to talk about literally much of anything with this, but I have so many big goals for this. But I will share just like a few things that I'm trying to do, so you have things to look forward to. Mother Berry is really trying to be built into community because I have so many things and some things heavy on my heart. I'm not just building a shop, but I really want to build a community and something else. And I'm just not ready to talk about it yet. But at some point I will make a video this year once I'm like fully confident in this dream and in this goal. But I just feel like I'm being called, I don't know by who, but God, you can, Mother Nature, the universe, the forces, the spirits, the whoever you want to call it. I just feel so heavy in my heart that I am here to do a lot more for other people, not just for myself. So while I do want to revamp the shop and really get that going to help fuel me and my family to be able to put more time into this thing that I want to create, I'm really trying to help create Mother Berry into something very big that can really help a lot of people. It doesn't have to be huge, but big to me. The most helpful thing you can do, besides like shopping at the shop or anything, is just keep up with my socials. Maybe subscribe to my YouTube. Follow me on Instagram. Those are the only platforms I'm on anymore. I'm not on any other platforms. Share my stuff with other moms, with other working moms, because there's some really, really big stuff to come. Follow my shop Instagram. Whenever I announce new videos or new things coming out, like go check out the shop and maybe send it to someone. Even if you yourself don't buy something, it will be so helpful because I promise big, really important, life-changing things for certain people are going to come, and I'm really, really excited and feel very deeply about this. Some fun things to look forward to, just some little things, is that I want to relaunch my newsletters, and in doing that I want to relaunch my blog, and I think newsletters can be fun. I would like to my newsletter to be a source of good news to people and stuff that's either going on with Mother Berry or things that have happened in the world that are really good, just to have a little bit of positive light. I am not someone that pretends like the world and the news is not happening. I'm very into it. I'm a big social justice gal, but I'm also not someone that's going to sit here and talk about it all day, because I have my own way of being in the resistance that I do every single day of my life and in my own practices. Mother Berry is here to be a support system and to be a light to all of you. So I hope I can be a comfort creator, a light, a resource, all the things, which is something else I'd also have like to have in the newsletters, is resources for people to go to. Launching new Mother Berry shop products, that's something you can look forward to. One other thing that's just kind of fun is I want to finish setting up my office and create a little pen board right here. You know how people get corkboards and they cover it in cloth and you can like pen stuff? I'd love to be able to have that, so that when that could be like a whole crafting project, but whenever I create new products or have like a vision for something, I can have like the designs up here. I think that'd be really cool. But my husband's like literally dying in the kitchen trying to help my toddler get ready for dinner. So I'm gonna go. Thank you so much if you made it through this whole video. If you did, send me some seashell emojis so that I know you made it all the way through. Make sure you subscribed. If you're not, if you actually hated this video but somehow you made it all the way through, send it to a mom or a working mom or somebody that you think might enjoy this. I hope I can be your favorite comfort creator for 2026. Again, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. I gotta go. Bye.